We're pleased once again to sit down with another one of our members here, Chris. We're excited to be able to spend some time chatting with him about his experience with the MACD3 system and as a member of the Forex Trading Coaches community. Thanks, Chris, for your time.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be with you guys.
And we're definitely delighted as well. So appreciate you being willing to take this time with us. So really quickly, as you probably know, a lot of times members like to know what people are doing, what their backgrounds are, because a lot of times people will be able to relate or they'll have a similar story. So what do you do professionally in addition to trading? And then just a follow-up to that is, how long have you been trading the Forex?
Okay. Well, I currently still do work full-time. I'm in the insurance business, so I'm an insurance agent. Been doing that pretty much my whole career. And I've been trading Forex, really on a full-time, well, not even a full-time basis, but with an idea of becoming a full-time trader for the last year. About 10, 12 years ago, I did have a Forex account, which I quickly lost money on.
Sure.
And that's about the time I started my insurance business. So I kind of gave up on it rather quickly. So I didn't have any experience really. I did take an options course a while back, a long time ago, before I opened up a Forex account, and I was making some money with that, but found it to be too cumbersome to always be finding a stock that was ready to move. So I heard about Forex and wanted to give it a try. But needless to say, I put on a trade without a stop and lost a lot of money really quickly. So that's kind of, I guess, my background on it.
Okay.
So then about a year ago, I guess a little over a year ago now, I decided I was going to give Forex another try because I really don't want to be in the insurance business anymore. And just wanted to start looking for another career avenue, and always been fascinated by the markets, so that's kind of why I decided to go into currency trading, and really just kind of happened upon one of the other members' interviews and listened to it, and I was sold from that very moment. And I didn't care how much you guys charged. I was going to be joining up, and definitely in it for the long haul, because I knew that there was a lot of value to what you guys were providing and what Hope was saying in her interview.
Okay.
So that's kind of my background.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so this is Wade. Interesting, Chris. So I didn't even know this prior to coming into this interview. So it sounds like, as far as really getting down to it, it's just been the last year that you were determined to get serious about it. So, yeah, kind of leading up to the MACD3 days, because I think that's awesome. That's the whole purpose why we put, your interview with us going next and hopes and all that, is so that hopefully, people can listen to that and get something out of it, and you did. So we're very thankful for that. And so what were you doing? Did you do anything? Did you have a system? Did you go through anybody else's stuff? Anything, or were you just kind of, farting around for a little bit during that first year?
No, I mean, when I was doing options, I used the MACD was one of the indicators I like to use. So I did some sort of search on MACD.
Okay.
And I don't know if it came up in Google or in YouTube, but that's how I found you guys. And prior to that, I'd only had my account going a couple of weeks probably before I signed up with you guys. So, no, I wasn't using a system. I was still trying to figure out my way. And, I did make some money with options years ago, but looking back on that, I really don't have a clue as to how I was able to do that. Because I really don't, really looking back in the last year, I really didn't know anything. And now I'm very comfortable. I can look at the charts and, figure out where support and resistance is. I can figure out where this trade is likely to bounce. And, hopefully I do a good job at taking profit there. That's not always my strong suit, though, which we've discussed in the room a little bit lately. But, so now I feel a lot more comfortable with it. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but, you guys send out the email every night, and I kind of know what the email is going to say. And I look to the email to confirm what I was already thinking.
Right.
And the same thing with the trading room in the morning is, I'm usually there before Steve opens up the room, and, I'm already looking at the charts and saying, okay, this is probably what he's going to be looking for. And, a lot of the times I hit it right on the head. Sometimes I don't. And
right.
That's the benefit of being with you guys is, you can do it. You can do this without being totally alone and isolated.
Well, you know what? That reminds me, unlike a couple of the interviews that we've recently done with Shane and Jay, for instance, those guys have only been with us for a very short time, about 3 months. And I think you've been with us for close to a year now. So can you tell us about your experience so far in as much, details as you can share with us? And I'm sure that everybody would like to hear that.
It's been phenomenal. There really isn't a good adjective to kind of sum up everything that I've experienced in the past year. I mean, you guys are just tremendous. The very first day, and, I just had my 1-year anniversary last week or the week before, I think it was. And I went back and looked at my trades on that day, and I made 185 pips that day. And, I don't think that would have happened if I had not signed up with you guys. And initially, I wasn't. I guess the first couple of months you could say I was maybe going through the motions. Mm-hmm. I didn't really delve into it until probably June. And that's when I really decided to sit down. It was just after I read Mark Douglas's book. That's when I decided to sit down and just really put my all into it. And since then, things have just been tremendous. I mean, they're just. I mean, you guys provide so much value. It's just unreal. It's. I still pinch myself every Monday morning when I hear Steve's voice come on. I'm like, oh, great! It's going to be another great week because I know what I'm doing now, but yet I still have Steve in my back pocket to help me along. So, it's really just been. It's just been absolutely tremendous. I just don't really know how to put it into words. I mean, the system is awesome. It works, and it does work as much as you tell everyone it does. I mean, if you're not 75 to 80 or more accurate than that, then there's something wrong with you. It's not the system.
Right.
So, I mean, and the amount of money you guys charge is just, I mean, it's just an unbelievable value.
So tell us about, the type of pips or gains or, give us a little bit of, like, you're painting a picture, telling a story, writing a movie about your experience, so that people can really say, okay, Chris came and he learned the system, he plugged in, he did the live trading webinar, he's looking at the email, he's trying to teach himself that way. You started to see yourself doing well. Your very first day, you said you just plugged in 185 pips. So talk in terms of over this last year, and as detailed as you can think, or give us an average or something. Give us an idea of anything that's meat and potatoes, like pips or percentage gains or anything that you would like to share in that regard.
Sure. I mean, let's see. This month, up about 470 pips, I think.
Nice.
Since March 1st. Since March 1st, yeah, and that's I'd say it's probably about 25, almost 30% return. Last month I was up 25%.
Nice.
You know, I just continually astound myself at how really easy it does become after you get accustomed to things.
Sure.
You know, if I were just starting out again, I think what I would do differently, and this is what some of the others I've said, I think, is that I would go through the course one time, and then I'd go through it again, and then I'd go through it a third time and start taking notes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, you're going to get a pretty good foundation for what it is. And then I would go to the Forex tester and start trading in the tester. And I've done this a number of times. You can trade like an entire year's worth of trades in the tester in a weekend.
Right.
And, you know, the first time that you go in the Forex tester and you quadruple your account in a year's period, you start to say to yourself, okay, how much longer do I still need to do my day job before I can do this full time? And it really, really, really is possible, and it doesn't take that long. I mean, I'll definitely be done my day job within 2 years, maybe faster than that.
Almost makes you kind of feel a little giddy, huh?
Yeah, it does. It gets you excited. It really, I mean, Fridays are the worst day because the market's not open. Right. And so, you know, you're like looking forward to really Monday, because I usually don't do much on Sunday night. But,
sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I really do look forward to every Monday morning. And, you know, I mean, you guys are there every single day.
Sure.
You ever
wildly
think
successful. Say that again?
You ever get to a point where you're just amazed that you could ever wish that Friday didn't come?
Yeah, I know, right? You're not looking forward to the weekend?
Right. I never thought that would be the case, but it is definitely the case for me. You know, I don't know if it's because of I'm only really in it for a year, and maybe it won't be as exciting 5 years from now, but I really, at this point, can't imagine that. But just because it's just so much fun, and it's so nice knowing that when you send out the email, you've got an A plan and a B plan, and you're always waiting for one of these things to occur so that you can find an opportunity.
Sure.
And then you can get into the opportunity, and you can let the trade management system take care of the rest of it for you and go back to sleep. And that's what I do.
Sure, yeah.
So it's nice when you wake up in the morning and you're up 35, 40, 50 pips, 100 pips, or you trail stopped and you didn't really make anything. But, hey, there's another opportunity just around the corner.
Sure. Well, now there's a follow-up question that I had to what you were talking about before. This is Steve again. When you were mentioning making the pips, you said something like 185 pips in the first day, and then even now, where would you say the bulk of those pips came from? Were you at the live trading webinar? Did you check into the chat room with people? What did you do to make those pips so quickly from almost day one signing up?
The first day it was in the live trading webinar. I didn't go into the chat room probably for at least a month, and that was just simply because I wasn't really doing anything during the London session except sleeping.
Sure, right.
But and then once you get a little comfortable with the system, you know what the other members are talking about in there, and you're like, oh, okay, I see what they're saying.
So do you trade
live trading webinar. Say that again?
Do you trade both sessions now?
What I try to do now is, since I guess when I really started to get proficient, I was always very excited for the next opportunity. It's like, okay, when's the next trade going to be? When's the next trade going to be? Now I have a better appreciation that the market is going to provide opportunities, and I don't necessarily have to be connected all the time. now I trade New York, and I try to get 2 to 3 trades in the London session per week.
Okay.
Because a lot of times they're the bigger movers. So that's pretty much, and that's been working for me. And I'm not up all night every single night. So
yeah,
that's pretty much what I do.
So you use email trading to do the night trades?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the email's fantastic. And like I said, it gives you an A and a B. If A sets up first, you do A. B sets up first, you do B. Sometimes it doesn't happen into the New York session, and it just gives you a game plan for the next 24 hours. And the live trading webinar, you get the game plan as soon as the morning starts, and you're just waiting for those opportunities to happen. When they set up, Steve says, "Okay, guys, it's time to sell this or buy that. Here's the entry price. Here's our target. Let's see what happens."
Sure.
That's really all you have to do. And I mean, if I would think that if somebody would give it a month and say, if they're not confident that the system works after a month, then it's something that they're doing wrong, and it's not this. It's definitely not the system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's so nice. I mean, really, you can put a trade on and let your trade manager take care of it and not have to worry about it.
Sure.
Yep. I do it all the time. It's very, very stress-free trading as soon as our trade management kicks in, because it's break even. I mean, it's stop loss is moved, it's break even at that point, and it's a no risk trade. So easiest thing we can do is hold on to it.
Yep.
So, right, and you're never using more than 35 pips, and you can make higher time frame trades and get some big moves with a very tight stop loss.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, something. It just what I'm taking out of this interview, me personally, is that I didn't actually even know your whole story until now, and I think that it's just absolutely incredible that once you finally, I mean, you really only had a little bit of knowledge coming into this stuff, and we say that you're lucky enough that you found this right out of the gate. It's not because we're trying to toot our horns, because we're very humble people, but it's like we wish we had found something like this a year into it. You've got nothing but the sky is the limit for you now that you've got this skill starting to get down and will continue to get down. You're only going to get better and better as long as you keep doing the same things that you've done to get where you're at so far. So, a lot of people ask us the question, is this too good to be true? Is it worth my time? And when you're talking about the kind of numbers that we've been talking about, I can understand that, people thinking those thoughts. But, what would be your answer to that, and what would you suggest to somebody who's considering this?
Well, I would suggest that they sign up for a year and just put it on autopilot. I mean, whoever told you to listen to this video, or however you found this group of people, however you found Stephen Wade, you really need to thank your lucky stars each and every day, because they're changing people's lives. They're changing my life. They're changing my family's life. They're gonna. It's because of the knowledge I'm getting from them that I'm going to be able to achieve all of my hopes and dreams. Whether it's financially, it really doesn't matter. You can achieve it through this system. You really need to thank whoever has turned you on to it. I got lucky and just came across it by happenstance, but most people are being referred by somebody else. And you really need to thank them profusely for introducing you to the MACD 3 system. Stephen Wade work, I think, almost 24 hours a day, and they're always trying to make the system better. And since I came on, I'm not sure that the early entry trade was a part of the system. for the P1?
Yeah, at that time it wasn't. Nope. Nope.
Okay, so that's a new development, and I think the P4 wasn't originally part of it either.
P4
so
was
that's
there.
a new development.
Yeah, P4 was there.
Okay, I just didn't know it then.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then now we have another trade that works out. That has, if not more accurate, it's at least 80% accurate in the transition trade, and you just keep working on it, and you've paid the dues for all of us, and I'm very lucky to have found it very quickly into the currency endeavor that I've gone on to.
Sure, we definitely appreciate. We do work hard to try and improve it, and the thing we always try and say is that we're not ever changing the system so much as making it easier for people to learn. Just figuring out ways to simplify, to compartmentalize, so that people can get the trade system down, the MACD system down more quickly. So that's
right, and that's another thing is if you have a question, you can ask the question 100 times in a row, and Steve is going to explain it and do it patiently and thoroughly every single time. And so, if you're one of those people that are afraid to ask questions, you really don't have to be. It's just a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous system. I just can't say it enough.
Well, we really appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah,
Chris.
Because Chris, there's people come to us from all various backgrounds in life, from all various everything. I was just talking to a friend of mine just the other day, and she was like, "Well, I'm no good at math. I don't think I could do good at this." I'm like, "You don't have to know any math. The only math you have to know is how much is your account balance and what is 2% of that."
Right.
That's it.
That's absolutely true.
Everything else is an acquired skill. And yes, our system is comprehensive, but there's a huge reward at the end of the rainbow for that work, unlike with some other systems that we've heard about in the past, where you could go down that road for 3 or 6 months. You're not sure if you're making mistakes or if it's the system or anything. But, when we've got trade calls, in the live trading webinars that have gone on for, 3+ years, being highly accurate the whole time, all it takes is 30 days to find out whether we're full of crap or not. When we talk to people like you, that just should show all kinds of evidence that, this is the real deal. And I'm just so pleased because this proves that someone with very little experience can just come in here and learn the system, do well. And then we have guys like the last 2 interviews where, they've been struggling at different times for different reasons. And now, just within 3 months, they just completely on a dime turned that around. And, it gives us bragging rights, but the bottom line is just it really, really touches us. And so we appreciate the fact that you dug in, Chris, and that you participated and you saw the value. That's what keeps us going.
Yep, exactly. Well, Chris, really appreciate your time. Sounds like you're definitely on your way to achieving, as you mentioned before, kind of your hopes and your dreams and your goals. Just as a quick final wrap-up question here, what would you say are some of your goals? What do you see yourself doing, or what do you see the Forex providing for you, say, in the next 2 to 5 years of your life? You got this picture of your 2 cute little daughters there. I have 3 little ones of my own, so 2 of which are girls. So I know how that is. But where do you see yourself in 2 to 5 years?
Definitely, full time. Within 5 years, I don't see why I can't have my house paid off and then some. I mean, the sky's the limit. It really is. You just have to sit down and figure out what's important to you, and it's really not that hard to get going. And 3 months, you'll probably have this thing down cold turkey, and it's off to the races after that. So I just plan to do this the rest of my life because I enjoy it so much. And the money will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Being able to have that flexibility of schedule and the freedom and just knowing that you can trade anywhere you want to. You can go on a vacation and maybe wake up in the morning and trade and make your vacation and pay your vacation off.
There you go.
Things like that are possible.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Absolutely.
well, cool. Thank you very much, Chris. We know you've got things that you're doing and stuff, so thank you for taking the time out to share your voice. We really appreciate it, and hopefully your video here will resonate with someone else and cause them to sign up, just like it did with you in regards to Hope's video.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, I sure hope so, and I appreciate you guys having me.
You bet. Thanks again, Chris.
Everything you've done for me.
Yeah, we appreciate that. We're glad to have you with us as well. So, I guess with that, we'll come back and play again some more tomorrow in the live trading webinar. Then, huh?
Yeah. Hopefully,
Definitely.
did you catch that EJ sell today?
Absolutely. Of course.
No, you.
Very nice. All right, buddy. We'll catch you in the morning.
Okay, bye.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Take care.